What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Hanging with Old Lou, back by popular demand.
I don't know how popular.
Yeah, well, we'll see. One person at least. I'm your
My
host,
fucking
Joshua
card look a
Citrak,
lot
and as
different.
always, to my left, Lou, what's happening? What's good? What's new?
What's happening? What's happening, y'all? Shit, I was about to say by popular demand. I'm like, goddamn, my car would look a lot fucking different, boy. There's more popular demand, goddamn it. Shit, we getting paid, but we ain't getting paid. How you doing, motherfucker? What you up to?
Oh, I'm doing. Oh shit! It's been a minute since we've actually recorded, so there's so much fucking shit going on. I don't even know where to start at the moment.
Well,
Um,
shit, didn't you fucking move? Goddamn, didn't you? Didn't you change homesteads?
we've talked since then. We've done a
Have
podcast
we?
since then. Oh
Oh
yeah.
shit.
So I think that we just we need to just get into it real quick about your health and how you're feeling now, which has been the number one reason why we haven't been recording recently. I think we went to do a show back in October, maybe
Yep.
September,
Yep.
October, and then you were just really fucked up, and I had to delete the live stream. That's how fucked up it was. And which, by the way, we are streaming live on YouTube right now, so
Oh shit. Okay. I'll try to straighten up.
Yeah, straighten up. But yeah, I mean, how are you feeling now? How's the situation going there?
It's all right today. I mean, it's still, as you could tell, it changes my breathing and stuff. It's just
Sure.
the pain. It's just shit. It's just what did we say? It's just shit. It's been so fucking long. I mean, since what 92. So
Sure.
I guess we just hit a newer plateau of just trying to figure out how to deal with this pain. It's just coming on a little bit strong here and there, and
yeah. Well, I one of the reasons why I really wanted to jump on and talk to you about this is, as two of us who are, obviously you way more than myself, dealing with back pain, with just pain in general.
Yep.
Is that, that was the thing that the United Health CEO Shooter had, like that the pain drives people kind of insane. And so I'm kind of wondering your thoughts on that and where you are with that.
Well, the pain does get you, but my thing is I don't have the same problem, so to speak, as financially as a lot of these people start off. So that for me, I think I'm able more to concentrate, so to speak, on the pain and how I'm doing, and how I can work with, my family, and things of that nature. I mean, first and foremost, it was hideous, and that's not something that you should ever fucking do. We do know that, not just along with insurance companies, but we know big corporations themselves do end up screwing some motherfuckers over. So there's no.
Well, I mean, remember, like, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago when Dashel, my youngest, had to be helicoptered to Sioux Falls, and the insurance company fucked us. They fucked us, and we were in like, and it wasn't even that much debt, right? It was probably like $25,000 or $30,000 that they said that we owed them, and we fought with them, and we fought with them, and they just fucked us. But luckily, I have money. My dad helped me pay the last $10,000 of it. Like, we paid them $30,000 after insurance, and the insurance is like, oh, we're not covering the helicopter, but they made us get on the helicopter. They said there's no other way. You have to get on the helicopter, you know, and if it's our fault because we didn't have helicopter insurance, you know, and that flight was $12,000.
Helicopter insurance, ladies and gentlemen. Helicopters.
That flight cost us $12,000 out of pocket. Like that almost buried us. And then, you know, and there's so many other examples, like, you know, wives who have to go and get mammograms for breast cancer, right? And then they say, oh, well, you know, there's something there, but let's take another look with this other thing. And then the insurance company goes, we're not paying for that shit.
That's not covered.
And they're like, but my doctor told me to do it because I might have cancer. You know, like that kind of shit. And you know, do I think that all of a sudden that the health care in this country is going to change because of one random act of violence? No. But you understand, like you see online, like everybody's cheering for this guy, you know, like, you know, like if you were on a jury with this guy, you would be really, really motivated to say, nah, he's just like OJ.
And that comes down to the thing. Like I said, you know, the pain or the whatever that is going on with your body, and they won't pay for it, but you have insurance. I mean, you have insurance because that's the law. And they wiggle their way out. They wiggle their way out. The same thing with my wife. The doctor says, hey, you need this fucking thing, a TENS unit, basically put in your back. And they say no. They said, no, they're not going to cover it. And then I go back even to a smaller thing, which is weight loss, right? You know how good that is for you and how that would even help your health out and then make sure you don't maybe have diabetes, you know, things of that nature. But they won't cover that weight loss.
Ozempic,
And I say, well, but it's supposed to help you lose weight, which will help you be healthier. So what
and cost you less money down the line, right? Like if I got to put you on glucose for the rest of your life, that's going to cost a shit ton more money than, you know, a year's supply of Ozempic.
Which shouldn't be 1,000 something each fucking dosage. I mean,
it comes down to, I think that, you know, we were talking about this back when Obama was president, when we did Obamacare, right? We had this debate, like, is healthcare a right or is it a privilege? And Americans decided it's a right. It's not a privilege. It's a right that everyone in this country get health care. But the thing with that is now it's become a privilege because you have to be able to afford it. You know, the number one thing of putting people in bankruptcy is because of medical bills.
Medical destroys you, destroys all of us. When the payment comes, and there's no relief, there's no help, there's, as you see with this gentleman, you just feel alone and cut off. You can't buy
and you're in excruciating pain.
Yes.
You know, like you're so low, you know, as a mentally, as a person, when you're in pain, there's nothing else. You know, as someone who I got really hurt in jiu-jitsu in September, I think. And for like 6 weeks, I was just in agony. You know, I was having people like give me like Vicodin and Percocets. That's how bad it was. You know, people just show up like, here's 5 Percocets. Have a good day. And you know, that pain clouds your mind. You know what I mean? Like you go insane, you know?
So much so that you don't find yourself even caring how you talk to people or what you say.
That's right.
and going out, or even when you're out, you're not, you're like, fuck you to everybody.
Yeah. IDGAF, motherfucker.
Yeah. Exactly. And then you have how people are acting towards each other just because society's going that way. Nobody has time or patience for anybody.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that last week when I was in church and we were singing O Come Emmanuel, you know that song? Like and it's like, it's a song to me, it's a song about unity. And I was like, man, it was really powerful, to me. Like I've been, listening to it all week. I learned how to play it on my guitar, and that unity, like the disunity is pain, right? It's anguish. It's misery. That's what disunity is. And when you're physically in pain, you're not even friends with your best friend, with your wife, with your kids, with nobody. You don't like anybody.
Nobody. And they're always asking you what's wrong, and then how can you, how many times are you gonna tell somebody that the fucking, right now it fucking hurts. Yeah. I'm just trying, I'm rocking back and forth trying to figure out which way who be who. And funny thing now is I got most motherfuckers are catching up now because we're getting old. So most motherfuckers are catching up with the pains, my wife, her back and all this shit. And I'm just sitting there like kind of smiling when she's telling me these things, because I'm just looking at her like, yeah, I was telling you that. Yeah. And now I'm on the other side where I just have to listen.
Like a motherfucker.
Yeah. You're like sitting there and then and which is okay for me because I can fall back on, nobody wants to hear how to get through it. They would just want you to sit there and be like, damn, that fucking hurts. Damn, that fucking hurts. Or for me too is people don't listen. Because I'm dealt with this shit for most of my life. And even with my father-in-law with his memory, and I'd try and show him my tricks and the pain, and like I'll tell people, even my wife, and they don't, listen because they just, how
you don't know if you don't know.
Yeah, and so now I just kind of keep a little quiet and just kind of be like, oh yeah, that's gonna hurt when you twist this way, and hey, maybe you may want to go. Okay, why don't you try it for yourself and listen? And fighting with, not me fighting, but watching them fight with trying to get their medication right. The gabapentin can make you foggy as shit.
Yeah.
So you're fighting with that, and you have pain, but you have to work.
Right.
And the insurance company is denying your shit. That's what I'm denying your shit. So all this shit packs on, and then you have people who might not be going through it, but we'll say our politicians, and they'll be like, you got to get through it. You got to go do this. You got to pay your bill. You got to, dig down deep and you're just sitting there going, but not everybody's in the same. And most of us are in the same boat of we can't pay for it.
and I think that's where there is a bit of hope for unity, is that we're all starting to realize, regardless of how we are politically motivated, that we're all in the same boat. We are all in this motherfucking boat together. And these motherfuckers up here, like if Nancy Pelosi, when she fell in Europe last week, if she had Obamacare, she'd be fucked. She'd be fucked. Holler at that bill. Holler at that bill. But no, we paid for you. We paid for whatever you needed. You needed emergency surgery in Luxembourg or wherever the fuck you were. We got you. We paid for that shit. But if that's me, I'm fucked. Fucked.
And it comes, and also as we look at Nancy Pelosi and be like, fuck that, and we look at the other side. Why the fuck are you trying to get rid of shit that you don't even have shit to replace it with? Like, you're sitting there asking the question, like, what are you talking about? Why are you getting rid of it? And still saying,
I mean, as soon as motherfuckers start talking about we're gonna do away with Medicare, you watch the fucking revolt happen.
Hey,
like when Elon Musk is talking like we're gonna get rid of Medicare, excuse me, we're gonna fucking burn your house down.
Well, says the very, very, very rich guy. So I mean,
well, I mean, it's easy. It's easy when you have that. Like, I know. I listen to a few like I don't know what you would call them, like wealth building podcasts or whatever. And there's this one guy, Scott Galloway, and he's like, you know what? When I made enough money, I stopped paying health insurance because it wasn't worth it. I just pay cash now because he's rich, right? And that's what rich people do.
Yep.
I don't need health insurance. I've got a fucking, American Express Sapphire card. I just throw that shit down, motherfucker. Yeah. I need whatever I need, and I have the access.
Yes. And now, which people aren't seeing just yet, they're talking about taking healthcare and stuff away from veterans.
I saw that too.
You have to start looking. And I told this to people years ago. I said, when his first term was in, I said, y'all missed the interview when he said, yeah, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be paying our veterans all that we're doing, and for as long as we have been paying some of them. I think, and you're like, wait a minute, does anybody hear that? But no. And they're talking about maybe making the states take over for the VA of the veterans that are in their state. I mean, healthcare is going down, ladies and gentlemen. It's going down.
Well, I if I were to look at the positive of it, I would say that at least we're talking about it. At least we're talking it. We're all sharing our stories of how everyone on the planet who is not wealthy has been fucked by their insurance. Everyone in this country, like
not just health, not just health insurance.
Oh yeah, auto insurance, home insurance. That shit in California is fucking insane. Where it will cost you like $1 million to make sure you have fire insurance, but you must have it. You have to have it. And so now you've got houses that are, people own that they can't sell, they can't do anything with.
Nope.
It's fucking crazy. It's insane.
Then they tell you it's your fault.
You have to have it.
Yeah, it's your fault. You're living without it, beyond your means. You're this, you're that, and you're like,
like maybe because we have historical data and records. Number one, should have zoned better to not put a house where there always was a history of fire. And number two, maybe we should take better care of our forests. Because like as someone who spent a lot of time in the backcountry in California, it's a tinderbox, dude. Like, because they won't allow people to go log, they won't allow people to clean out the dead wood or whatever, and they just let it go. That when it catches fire, that fucking shit burns, and
goes on forever.
Yeah. And if we did those two things, zoned better. But, the state wanted money. Those counties wanted that money, right? Because these are rich people probably building their houses up, these second homes, whatever. And we took care of our forests instead of just treating them just like shit, and that, California has an incredibly large square acreage, mileage, whatever you want to call it, of public land. And it's some of the fucking worst public land in the West Coast. Like you go to like Nevada takes care of their public land. You go to Oregon, they take care of their public land. Idaho, Montana, Washington, they take care of their public land. California's is some of the fucking worst managed public land. And, you know, and just by way of saying that, you know, that because it's mismanaged and now I can't afford fire insurance for my home, I'm screwed. It's not my fault. You know, like I just bought a house 20 years ago and now all of a sudden you're saying that, you know, but it's your fault for breathing the air.
That's what they say. It is your fault. That's how, I mean, and they talk about how they need to bring back the American dream and, you know, owning a house and this and that.
Yeah.
And I'd always pose the question. I'm like, well, what are they talking about? Well, they want to bring down house pricings. And then, you know, that makes me go, but wait a minute now. Whoa. You know, because then on the back end, I can get fucked. So, I mean, do you see? So you're stuck with trying to say, hey, I want good, but, you know, cheaper housing. But then wait a minute, I don't want you to fucking let my shit drop. You know, and that's another reason why when we had the election and one candidate's telling us he's going to bring down the grocery prices, even that's when I went, wait a minute, if I own a grocery store, I'm going to be like, wait, hold on, motherfucker. Regardless of what we think about, we need to bring down the prices. If we own those establishments, we would not want the prices to come down. So, I mean, that's where you look and you ask people, are we really capitalistic? Or are we?
you know, I mean, I think it's been pretty clear for, you know, since the 80s, at least, that, you know, we're capitalistic when the companies are making money, and then we're socialist if they need a bailout. You know what I mean? Like we bailed out the airlines, we bailed out the banks, we bailed out this group, we bailed out that group. But when they're making money hand over fist, you know, pass the hat, motherfucker, you know, and suck a dick.
But they won't. And that's the thing. That's why I try and say this to everybody. What are we expecting? I mean, we are expecting all these prices to come down, but we don't want them to come down when we're ready to sell.
Right. Well, I mean, the home thing is tricky, you know, because like for most Americans, that's where our wealth is in our house. You know, like I own this house. The bank doesn't own my house. I own my house. You know, we paid cash for this thing. And so this is my biggest investment, you know, and this is what gets passed down, you know, you know, a parent dies and they pass their house down to the kids. That's a lot of wealth right there, you know. Most people aren't playing the stock market. Most people aren't, you know, buying some kind of commodities or whatever. But they put Americans. This is the number one vehicle for wealth in the country. And then, if you all of a sudden are like, hey, we're going to give first-time home buyers like $25,000 and we're going to, you know, do this and that and the other thing. It's like, holy shit, you're going to drop my net worth by like 30%.
Yes. I mean, like I said, but then again, how do we help the other Americans help with their, you know, and I'm tired of the American dream aspect, because I tell people, I said, fuck, I'm America's dream. You can't have the American dream anymore because the white picket fence ain't there. You know, that's the whole
I actually have a white picket fence.
I do. And you're white. Just showing off your white privilege. Look at you. But, you know, I mean, you that's the thing, is you're trying you want everyone to get ahead. And that's what we're asking for.
Yeah.
But in order to get ahead, I'll say this. I always say this. When things start to get equal, the ones who have power complain the most.
Oh, for sure.
Okay?
For sure.
Remember the .com and all motherfuckers were making millions and billions. It was the real rich that started to complain about everything. You know, things of that nature. When and that's when the shit starts to become equal. And then the ones that have go, whoa, wait a minute. This isn't right. Then we start hearing about DEI hires and this and that of this nature. And then, as they make fun of the DEI hires, but then you see who the incoming administration wants to hire. And you're just like, wait a minute. Son, when you ask ones to have the qualifications and you say they don't, and then you turn around and do the same thing, that's why we're all asking for, like you said, unity. Unity.
Well, and this is where I think that, you just touched on a really good point, is that this is where I think the Democrats have failed, is that they, like Bernie always talks about class, right? And, he got shit on for, oh, well, it's Bernie bros and he's racist or he's sexist or whatever. It's about class. It's about class in this country. That the poor folks live in the greatest country in the world, but yet they don't have the basic shit that they need. They don't have access to education. They don't have access to healthcare. They don't have access to transportation. In these last 5 years that I've moved from,
or good law, or good law.
Or that.
Good law. I mean,
or that.
With what
in these last 4 years, so moving from San Francisco, which is probably, the second wealthiest place in the world, where we've got everything. We have, if you're poor in San Francisco, you have a way to get around at any time of the day or night. Very, very reliably. But if you live
homeless motherfuckers, we're just talking about poor.
Yeah, if you're working poor people.
Working poor.
And now juxtapose that with a small city in South Dakota where there's no public transportation. There's no public transportation. So in the dead of winter, when it's negative 20 degrees and there's 10 feet of snow, how do you get to your job if you don't have a car? And then come here to Youngstown where there's some bus lines, but again, the city is spread out. It's across 2 rivers. Like, how do these people get? How does your kid get to a public school here? They have to take a city bus. They have to go walk to a main road, stand out there. I'm telling you that those people, the people that are subject to that way of living and existing, that shouldn't be in this country. I'm sorry, this country is too wealthy for that to happen.
Ask your congressmen and senators; they'll tell you, no, that's not their response. That's not the government's responsibility.
We can send billions of dollars to Ukraine to let them fucking kill each other. We can spend billions of dollars to Israel to watch them massacre fucking Gazans and Muslims. I mean, they're fucking bombing Syria, for God's sakes. They're bombing Lebanon. They're bombing Gaza. They're bombing Syria.
Oh, wait. I thought it was supposed to be over with since what's his name became president.
Trump said he wants it wrapped up by January 19th or something, whenever the day before he takes off. January 16th or whatever.
And again, I keep saying that I don't understand how Americans have the audacity to say, hey, you know what? We could go over there and end this war with these 2 warm people. That if motherfuckers came in and fucked with us, we sure the fuck wouldn't be listening to them. Hell, when they killed a DEA agent in Mexico in the fucking early 80s, we went into Mexico and dropped our dick on these motherfuckers and didn't give a fuck.
They ran 2 planes into the Twin Towers and we bombed them for 20 years.
Yes.
We bombed them for 20 fucking years. We killed 5 million people. And that's the truth, Lou. that you just hit on is that if we wanted to do it, it would get done. Yes. But we're just happy to watch these motherfuckers kill other motherfuckers. And it's disgusting.
And then have the audacity to turn around and tell these people, hey, we're gonna fix this, because if you don't do it, we're gonna what are you kidding me? I mean, that's what, when you point to people, they well, he's so strong. No, again, like I just said, if we want to do something, we'd be all up in it. Somebody fucking did something to us, which they did. We went right over there and put our dick on them. So that's when you try to point it out, I said, but hey, what do I know? I'm just dealing with hemorrhoids, shit. Well, I tell you what, boy, with them fucking hemorrhoids, man, I tell everybody, I'm going to do a little PSA for y'all. Okay, if you have hemorrhoids and you forget, like I did, boy, I was in Vegas and I forgot. And
when were you in Vegas? I was just in Vegas.
July.
Oh,
and
okay. I was in Vegas
and I
3
ate
weeks
the
ago.
spicy food and I forgot. And let me tell you, when I took this shit, boy, I swear to God, my anus could have melted a fucking glacier. And I'm talking about the whole glacier, not just at the top that you see in the water. I'm talking about the shit that's underneath it. And I'm talking about, it was so hot and hurting that I swear to God, my asshole would not have touched the glacier. It would have just been melting as my asshole was trying to sit on it to cool it, and it'd be like, no, I'm just melting, motherfucker. It's too hot. It's too hot. Motherfuckers, I'm gonna tell you now, if you got that, don't eat your spicy food, because boy, when you make that mistake, and I made it in Vegas, that's rough. And because of the medications and the stuff that I'm taking, motherfuckers got to pay the water bill, and when you got to pay the water bill, you got to pay it now, right? I'm at a fucking show. I got to pay it now. I got up. As soon as I got out the door, I pissed myself. I pissed myself all the way to the bathroom. All the way to the bathroom. Still made it to the bowl and still pissed another 10 minutes.
Oh my God. Dude, that happened to me in Vegas too. My wife and I
drunk.
My wife and this was probably like 20 years ago. And so we probably had a bit of a buzz. I can't remember. But we went to one of the Cirque du Soleils. And it was so long, and we're sitting there in the front row going, oh, dear Jesus, please end. Please end. I don't care. I hope you all die. Yeah. I don't care. Yes. I just end.
Yeah. And it feels so good as you're pissing. I don't know why it feels so good to piss in your pants, but it does have it. Like, you're like, oh shit, I don't want to do it.
It's like like when babies, before that they're potty trained and they're wearing diapers, and all of a sudden they just pause what they're playing and they're kind of holding onto the couch and they're just like, all right, what was I doing?
And the problem is that you can't hold your water that well, and then your asshole's leaking and on fire. So guess what? You gotta wear a diaper. So then, motherfucker, you think you got the right diaper on? Nope, you pissed your pants again. Oh, dude. He's sitting there just kind of like looking like, okay, I guess this is my life now. Hi, everybody.
Oh, shit.
And this is all medication-wise, ladies and gentlemen. And see, then there's another added to your psyche and how angry you can get and how you can see how people get driven to most of the time blow their own brains out.
Right.
And I know a lot of veterans that do it. And it's not just because of what they saw or did in there. It's the pain that they go through every goddamn day, I mean, And gone are the days where you're supposed to tough it out. I got fucking chewed out by a fucking physical therapist telling me, I was like, okay, well, I got this pain. I'm just gonna push through it. So no, you're not supposed to push through. I'm like, first of all, that's what they used to tell us. Now I'm getting fucking chastised about this shit. And then if I stop because it hurts the way that you say, so I shouldn't go any further, you're not trying hard enough.
Right.
And you just like, again, while we keep going over this, is just so that people understand how you feel, because you stop in the middle of it and you're like, wait a minute, I was told to do it this way. Now I got to do it this way.
Yep.
And you're treating me like I'm a fucking child.
Right.
I mean, my physical therapist, I'll go walking in and then we sit down and she's like, okay, well, let's go over to this thing, to this, whatever, this one thing that you roll with your arms. I'm like, okay, I go to get up and she stops me. She says, so when you came in, you had your cane in your right hand. Why do you switch it now to your left hand? And I'm looking at her like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's been in my left hand the whole fucking time. It's been in my left arm since 1992. What the fuck are you talking? Like right then and there, I was like, okay, I know this is not going to be the session for me. I mean, they even kept me waiting for over an hour. I went up to the people, said, hey, finally, the lady comes and gets me, whatever. She tells me she marked me down as a no-show. I'm like, I'm right here. Sitting out there. Yeah.
And it's Brittany, bitch.
Yeah, yes. and you're in the hospital, so you can't really go off, because I already saw 3 people in that hour get escorted out. I mean, and you know where it is? It's downtown by the old bus station there in Oakland. So
yeah.
I have to battle through at least 5 encampments just to get to the door. I mean, so again, ladies and gentlemen, as you go through and you're going, like, everybody has these stories, and how do we make them better? You make them better with money or better healthcare? I mean, what? But better healthcare asks for more money.
Right. Well, I mean, I think all this, I think that all of it is down to giving the person that you're with, whoever, more grace. Just giving them the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, that person was rude to me, or this person marked me as a no-show, instead of like, you fucking whore, you fucking asshole. No, you know what? Cool. Just cool. I got you. What, something's going on with you today. That's cool. Giving people more grace and like acknowledging that everyone is going through something. You know what I mean? Everyone's got, we always say, like, is it racism, or did their wife fuck the mailman and they stole all of your money and then they left you, and you just happened to be black while they exchanged with you? Who knows?
Thank you. Who knows? Who knows?
And I feel like that, just giving people the benefit, being secure enough in your own self to give people the benefit of the doubt that, because I mean, I'm the number one person, is that if someone went tit for tat with me, I'm going to get that last word in. When I was a younger man. And now I'm thinking, I don't need to do that. Like, you know what? If you think you got me, okay, you got me. Cool. You know what?
Yes.
Go with God. I'll see you later. And that was something that my wife and I were talking about yesterday. That she's like, well, sometimes I feel people, if they get me, then they think they really got me. And I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe they do. Who cares?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean,
I don't care.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, and I'm not saying like water's off a duck's ass, but a lot of times you do just have to be like, like when I'm driving, the motherfucker get to the stop sign, motherfucker
Sure,
takes off. I'm like,
sure.
hey, you know what? That motherfucker had to get somewhere.
Yeah,
Let me
and
let
that's
this fucking shit
and
go.
I say that all the time. Like it's like a mantra to me when I drive. Like someone cuts me off, that motherfucker might be going to the hospital. He's got a sick kid in the back, whatever. Go, cut me
Yes,
off. I don't care.
get going. Yeah, just hey, enjoy yourself. Do whatever you need to do. You know, as long as you ain't, as we would say, stepping on my toes. Cutting me off, and that's not stepping on my toes. And
Right,
even
right.
when we were at the post office the other day, and I'm there with my daughter, and we could hear the postal woman just arguing on the phone with someone, right? And I
Yeah.
turned to her and I'm like, God damn, listen to this shit. That lady hangs up the phone and comes out, and then takes her sign off and screams, "Hey, you guys do not stand over there. The line starts
Yeah.
here."
Yeah.
And me and my daughter were at the front of the line. Now, as we know, it's Christmas time, so it's already been a big long line. The lady who
Sure.
was there could see us, all of us in line, so nobody had a problem. There's no chair, so of course I lean up on the wall, my dog. So the lady starts yelling, and I'm like about ready to. I wanted to go off, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep quiet. Because I'm like, everybody's policing themselves. We're fine. We know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but the other lady just finished with her customer, the one that was out there, and I just scooped right over there. I just didn't even give the lady the stink. I said, "Come on, Piper," and
Yeah.
my daughter, and
Yeah.
she was looking at me like, usually you'll say something. I'm like, nah, and I talked her through it and doing the same thing. I'm like, years
Yeah.
ago I might have said something, but not really in the post office, because that's where the term really first came from, because they were the first
Go
ones to go
postal.
postal.
Oh yeah, I mean, so my wife and I, we twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays during lunch, we get together and we go lift at the university. But because they're on a break, we ended up going. We're members at the JCC here in Lansing, and so we're in like the free weight room. It's working out. We had just gotten there, and there's like the boxes, like the jump boxes, where they're like 20 inches, 24 inches, whatever. So they only have a couple of them. And so one of the women who worked there, she's like I guess a physical therapist. I don't know. And she's like looking for the boxes, and I was looking for the boxes because I wanted to use them, but they seem to be in use. And so I was just like, whatever, I'll do something else. She goes into the other room where there's like the yoga studio, whatever, and there's a couple of African American women there. And she's like, "Hey, are you using that box?" And then some exchange happened. Like they went tit for tat on each other. And then the woman who works for the JCC, she closed the door too loudly for the African American woman. She comes in and starts yelling at her, and then she goes, "Ba ba ba," and then she goes, "Oh well, yeah." And I was just like, "Ooh, Joshua, I'm right in the middle. I'm just trying to fucking do some kettlebell swings, And I'm like, And then the woman's like, "Ba ba ba," and the African American woman just went, "Ugh," and she walked away. And then she went and she got her friends. Her friends came, and it's just like, just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go.
And they're going back and forth. And then like the management comes. This is the Jewish community
center. Yeah.
And so guess what Jewish community centers have? They have armed security guards.
They do.
Like there are people packing in there. I am not yelling at anybody there in case I get shot.
Nada.
But these, and then it's just like more women, and she's like wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. It's just getting worse and worse.
In the Jewish community center.
Jewish community center. Like, I don't know if you know this, but historically, we haven't gotten along.
No.
Remember, you accuse us of running the media
and being big slumlords.
And we own the banks too. So how do you think this is going to end for you?
Well, and plus those women should see on the news, Israel's already fucking up the Muslims. So they ain't got none for...
They don't have a problem bombing a few more brown people. They don't care about that.
So, who got the ouster? Who got the ouster? Who got kicked?
I'll give you one guess. The JCC said Black Lives Matter, just not here.
Yeah, not here. Get out. And how dare you say just Black Lives Matter? Because all lives matter.
All lives matter. That's right. That's right.
All lives. You gotta know that.
Oh man. Hey, so I would be remiss, Lou, if I let this podcast go any further without acknowledging the fact that Rickey Henderson died today.
Oh, Rickey, that was just.
And he was my favorite baseball player, and I'm pretty sure he was your favorite baseball player.
Mine. And I tell people, because even my wife was making fun. She was like, "God, he was pretty old, huh?" And I stopped and looked at him like, "What the fuck?"
He was 65.
First of all, he was 65. First of all, second of all, my fucking babysitter in 75 and 74, when the motherfucker was playing at Oakland Tech, used to take us to go watch that motherfucker because she was in love with him. I said, "How fucking old do you think I am?" So yeah, Rickey has been was my favorite, and I'm a baseball player. I mean, I played, and I'm not that big of a fan, but Rickey was, god damn. I don't know what, that was a baseball player. That was an honest to God baseball player. And watching him play, sharing I tell the kids, I said, that motherfucker would get to first, and by the second pitch of the second batter, he'd already be sitting at third. He'd be sitting at third. That was just amazing what he would do. Just the base running alone.
It's a bit like, I don't think ironic is the right word. But when you think about what the A's are doing right now, the A's belong in Oakland. I'm sorry. The Raiders belong in Oakland.
They do too.
That's Oakland right there.
Yeah. And I would dare to say the Warriors should have been there too.
I disagree there. The Warriors the Warriors started in San Francisco. They played at the Cow Palace.
Cow Palace?
No, they played at the Cow Palace.
Cow Palace, that's right.
I
played at Kezar.
Rickey signed a baseball for me when I was like
nice
7. When he was with the Yankees. Right. I got the baseball signed by Rickey and by Don Mattingly. They played on the same team. That was first and second base, right? Rickey played second base.
No, he was center, wasn't he?
Center field. Sorry. Yep, you're right. Willie, come on, brain. Willie Randolph, Don Mattingly, and Rickey Henderson signed a baseball for me when I was like 7 years old.
Oh, that would be lovely if you still had it.
Oh yeah, that baseball got eaten by a dog or something.
That baseball got treated like they did in the Sandlot.
Oh yeah,
that was the baseball you had, and it was a prop on Sandlot and got ate up. That was the fuck happened on that. Yeah, Rickey was damn good. I met him a few times. Just all one. I guess, what do they say? Your hero, your athlete, whatever. Meeting him was okay. He didn't he wasn't a dick or anything like that. He was
No,
good.
he was a good dude. He was always like, at least, in my experience, he was like down to, sign an autograph, to be there for the kids. He understood what it meant. Like, just a fucking, a ugly white boy with a hairy birthmark in the middle of my face. And he was like, yeah, here, give me that ball.
Yeah.
He was cool. And it was cool. That's right. And that's, we lost a real one today. We lost a real one. And,
and I'd also like to raise my Irish coffee to another person, another real one, friend of newer, Miss Jerry, a good friend of ours, Kenny Mac's mother, passed away actually last Sunday.
Oh no!
So I'd like to raise
a glass
to her. Hell of a woman.
I got to refill. Let me refill my glass, and I'll join you.
Yes. Refill your glass. Hell of a woman. Lived a great life, as they said. She honestly did, and yeah. So we'll say about those two. They happened within a few days of each other.
Dang.
Shit, I wish we all could have got to met her. I wish we all could have met Ricky. I mean, wish all y'all could have met Ricky. Ricky was cool as shit.
Yeah.
Nah, but that's the thing about it now. We're getting old now, motherfuckers. We're gonna know too many motherfuckers that are gonna start dying. Shit.
Well, when your heroes start dying, that's a bit rough.
Yeah. It is because when they first start dropping off, you're still young and they're old. Like some of my heroes, Jack Tatum, he died while ago, but so I wasn't feeling it then. I didn't really start feeling it honestly until Madden passed.
That was a hard one for sure.
That's when I was like, whoa, yeah, we're getting old. I mean,
it is. It's a wild fucking thing, man. Getting old, it's fucking wild. And I don't, obviously no one's prepared for it. And you kind of don't know what to do. And that's where I see, when I'm talking about, like, I'm going to give you grace. You cut me off. You did whatever, you're yelling at me at the post office, because I'm like, man, I'm old and I don't know what to do sometimes. Like, I should kind of know what's going on, and I don't.
Well, I'll tell you this. Watching that goddamn, sorry, I have to stand. Watching that goddamn Tyson fight, right? To me, that just proved to me one goddamn thing: that my action fucking heroes can't be older than me anymore. When I'm watching you on the big screen, you cannot be older than me anymore. My fucking action heroes have got to be younger than me. I watch Tyson's 58, goddammit. He's 58. You know how fucking old Rambo is? 70-something in his last goddamn Rambo.
Oh my God. I know.
I mean,
we watched We watched Rocky, which is the one where he fights the Russian? 4?
Oh, something like that. Yeah. Let's go.
Me and my boys, we watched that together, and I'm like, "Come on, Rock! Come on!" what does what's his name say to him?
I will break you.
No, hold on. The Meredith Baxter.
Oh God, he says a lot. Get up! Come on, Rocky.
I just need to hear it because it's like.
Wasn't he dead already in that one?
He was. He died before that movie came out.
Yeah, I was like, didn't he? I thought he did.
I'm looking for it.
Watching that last Tomb Raiders of the Lost Ark. Motherfucker's 12.
It's not. No, it wasn't Meredith. What the fuck was that guy's name?
I forget
his
name.
first name was Meredith, right?
Might have been. And who's the
Burgess Meredith?
Denzel
Sorry,
now? Burgess. But even Denzel now, he can't. I can't have you as my equalizer no more. I can't. Like I can't. I look at shit now. I'm like, you got a Russell Crowe. I don't give a shit who you are. Even Tom Cruise. I hope that motherfucker gets shot as he's doing. I'm like, who else? Shit, all of them that are old now. You can't be young. You cannot. I mean, you can't be old as my action hero. You can't. I say it's over and done with. The Rock, you getting close, motherfucker. You getting close. You all are getting close.
You'll be able to spit nails, kid. Like the guy said, you're gonna eat lightning and you're gonna crap thunder. You're gonna become a very dangerous place. Hey, now when you walk into the ring, the #1 heavyweight of the world, you'll be ready. Why? Because I waited 50 years to make you ready. You'll be able to spit nails, kid. And the guy said, you're gonna eat lightning and you're gonna crap thunder. You're gonna become a very dangerous place.
Thunder. Shit. Even watching this goddamn new Tulsa King, he out there fighting. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That motherfucker is almost 80, okay? How are you gonna tell me this 80-year-old Stallone?
Oh,
I'm like, hey, come on.
I haven't watched that, but I have been watching. What is it called? Shrinking with
Apple. I don't have Apple. Yeah.
With
Han Solo.
Han Solo, yeah. Susan really likes it, and I watched a couple of episodes. I thought it was pretty cool. You know what I watched when I got so in our break where we weren't podcasting, I fucking watched all the Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I heard that's a pretty good one too.
You haven't watched that?
That's Apple. That's Apple, right?
It is.
Yeah. No, I don't have Apple yet.
Bro, I'll find a way to get it to you because it's so cool. I love it so much. It's, I mean, next to like Twin Peaks, it's probably one of the greatest television series of all time. Twin Peaks was what, like
with
2 seasons?
I don't know. Twin
better
Peaks,
than The Simpsons for sure.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
Yeah. I've never gotten into Twin
really?
Peaks. Yeah.
Man, I was in 6th grade when that came out.
Really?
And what's her name? Yeah. What's her name became like a love of my life. Laura
Ingram,
who is, by the way, from South Dakota.
Oh no, South Dakota. By the way, well, I can't even remember. I didn't even.
Laura Flynn Boyle, and
Flynn Boyle.
Yeah, here, let me share my screen. I'll show you.
Oh, please, because I don't even remember what she looks like. I couldn't even. I barely tell you what fucking what's the dude that plays Spider-Man look like. Goddamn it. Okay.
Come on, you know her. I mean.
Yeah.
She was Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She was
right.
Dead Poet Society.
Yeah. I kind of remember her.
I mean, she's got a jaw that's like, you know what I'm saying?
She got a jaw.
You feel
Where are you going with this?
I'm just saying that she's got a jaw.
Where are you going with this? Are you going to talk about
some women have a nose. Some women have, like ears. Some women have jaws. Some women have teeth.
Some women have that good inside the cheek skin.
I was telling, so geez, it might have been yesterday. I've I was telling. So my oldest has a crush on a girl at school, and I've been like, I've been like, bro, you need to tell her.
Yeah.
Stop telling her friends. Stop telling your friends. You just need to tell her. Like don't.
Yeah.
This is the number one thing that I tell to, like my interns, my staff, people that I mentor, is that you never fucking leave the room if you have something to say. Always say it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, that's what you tell kids. I tell even my kids, even now as they're getting into young adulthood, that is one of the best things about being an adult. Is just to stand up and say whatever the fuck is on your mind.
You got a question, you've got something that an opinion about what we're all talking about, you say it. Right? There's no stupid questions anymore. And so, he was, we were kind of talking back and forth, and then I was like, when I was in high school, I learned this lesson, because he's like, Dad, you're such a nice dad. You love Mom so much. And I was like, sorry, not always the best person. That bad,
motherfucker.
And then I was like,
cheated.
I was like, there was a girl in high school that fucking broke me for 40 years. And I told him the story, she was perfect for me. She was Jewish. Right. She was a basketball cheerleader, which we all know is way better than football cheerleaders, right?
No,
right?
Okay.
No, wait a second. We're gonna have to argue this out. I'm not telling the story.
Hey, our cheerleaders
basketball cheerleaders
basketball and football cheerleaders. So for me,
no. That's not true.
At our school, it was.
No, football cheerleaders, you hid behind like coats.
I don't know what football cheerleaders you had.
I went to high school in fucking New York, motherfucker. They're wearing coats.
Some mud ducks on there.
Basketball cheerleaders, they were the bomb. Football cheerleaders, this goes, I don't care where the fuck you live. Football cheerleaders, that's like the OnlyFans girl or whatever. Basketball cheerleaders, that girl's going to like Vassar or like, Brown. She's going to Brown, and you're going to fall madly in love with her, and she's not going to care.
Oh, hell.
And so those were the basketball cheerleaders were the cheerleaders that you wanted to date, not football cheerleaders. You didn't want to fuck with. I played football. I didn't want to date football cheerleaders. I wanted to date a basketball cheerleader. I didn't play basketball. I'm too stupid and retarded to play basketball. Even as a football player, I knew.
I knew.
I'm telling you, this is a known thing. It's just not known by you.
No.
Ask anybody. Ask anybody.
I will do that.
So you next time you're hanging with Kenny Mack or Big Brother Brock, just ask them. Hey, football or basketball cheerleaders? I guarantee what they're going to say. Basketball.
Okay. They're going to say basketball.
They are.
All right.
And if they don't, fuck them.
Okay, now let us know. Now, did he tell his crush that he had a crush?
Oh yeah, we dated for like senior year.
Not you, your son.
Hey, this is my podcast. Fuck you. Yeah.
One of the first times we were ever going to circle back to what the beginning of the story was. And you're like, oh, motherfucker, this still hurts deep. What was her name, Sandra?
It did start with an S, yeah.
Oh, you don't want to give her space, I guess, in this podcast. Was it Sally?
No,
was she that girl?
It was a Jewish name.
Oh, my bad.
So,
my bad. Oh, okay.
So it's in the Bible.
Lips and switch. Okay.
I don't want to throw smoke her way because I'm sure that she's a wonderful woman and great wife and mom and whatever. But
she was one of the ones that wanted this show back in popular demand. Okay, I got
you. No, she probably does not want this show out in the world. And I was telling them, like, this woman, I did everything, and this woman deeply hurted me. She hurt me so bad that I became, like, my son is like, I'm a nice guy. And I'm like, no, you cannot be a nice guy. And here's why. And then I see my wife going, oh my God, this is my life. This woman screwed my husband up so bad when he was 18 that at 30, at 40, at 50, he still acts mean to me for no reason because he just wants to get back at her.
Talking about somebody needs to unite and come together, motherfucker.
But I'm not that person anymore. I just have to say,
let it go.
I just have to say, I'm not that person anymore. But
he said, yeah, I'm not, because I'm 52, but at 50.
We've been together for 20 years. And for 19 of those years, that I would just be an asshole just to flex. Just to flex, like, oh, things are going too good. Hey, yeah, you know what? You're whatever, some kind of insult or some kind of small thing.
I almost shoot myself in the foot.
Because no. This is how I maintain control because of this young lady that I was madly in love with in high school who walked all over me.
Talk about that song. Hey, I want you to play another somebody done somebody wrong song to make me feel at home. 'Cause I miss my baby. That motherfucker said, she wrecked me for all women for 40 years. That shit.
I mean, for the love of my life, for the queen that I adore, for the woman that I worship, and I'd still just be like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, that shit does stay with you. I mean,
and I told them the story. Like we were like out Christmas shopping, and then we went to the grocery store, and I was telling them the story, and then they got it. Like my wife looked at me and she was like, "Oh my God, that happened too?" And I was like, "Oh, the story's not even close to being done yet. So just chill."
Yeah.
And she's like, I think I'm going to want to kill this person.
I'm telling you, there is shit where you can, yeah. Well, especially for that first one that you think that's wholeheartedly the one, and there's some people on the face of this earth, because there's over 4 billions of people on earth, that does work out. That does work out, but in all actuality, and it doesn't. But that first one that hits you, I mean,
for me, that was the one.
Different kind of, because a lot of times you are not being, or I don't want to say being who you are, because you are. It's just that you're not realizing that you not to give up so much.
Yeah, your self-worth.
Your self-worth, and understand, what. Everything, your self-worth, everything, and when it gets blown up in your face, and it's the howdy do part of it, if it happens to you, because
man,
it's happened to me, and yeah, the howdy do part about it is it's a real sometimes hard thing to get over because you really think that you've gone all out for this person, and you know
Yeah.
how can they do this or how can they drop it like this, and um yeah, it does screw you up big time. It can, you know. And I remember the
Yeah.
day when I left. I was like, you know, when you get home, you won't be here. You know, I've been really thinking about it. She's, okay,
Right.
and walked off to work, and you're like looking around, like, oh my god, and yeah, as everybody says, what the cliche is, it's hard to trust again, and blah 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 blah. And I think more or less that I think it's not so much as trust as you just still have that anger in you. You know, that, I mean, and it's, you know, I really think it comes down to that for a lot of us. I mean, but, you know, and for me, you know, not you know, but again, you know, I was going through an accident,
Yep.
and, you know, so there's a whole lot that goes in. And that's when we were talking about, you know, having understanding unity and, you know, like you're talking about looking in and looking at the people around you. And that's what I start off with saying is the one thing about my wife is that made everything even the greatest is that the understanding of just my accident and my situation, that it wasn't put upon me that you know, it's terrible that I come home and you're home, like you're home, and or you know, I come home and you're asleep, you know, and that's not, you know, what it is.
Yeah.
Ooh, what song you putting on? And that's not what it is.
Persuaders.
It's a thin line between love and hate.
So you learned this from your dad, this song?
Between love and hate.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Hell yeah.
I'm just getting in. I knock on the door. A voice sweet and low says,
and they don't talk about the times that you leave and you do lay in bed because you're so sad that, you know, or you're sitting there and she tells you, like, you know, you go out too much, you shouldn't be hanging out, and you're only, you know, 22, 23, you know, like,
yeah,
like, you know how you're supposed to be out running around.
Yeah.
And then, like, you break up, and all you do is hear that she's out doing that, you know, and then on top of that, you know, I'll tell you how much, like, she hates football and this and that and every this, da, da, da. And then you catch her on TV at a bar partying up at the Super Bowl party. So, and that's when you start to get even angrier and angrier. And then that's when, you know, like, you got to have someone even almost like me that'll look at you. And when you break up, the first thing I tell you is, yes, she's dating somebody right now. She is holding his dick in her hand right now. You know, and you need to get over that shit. Because that's mostly what a lot of them are thinking.
It's true. It's true.
And you know, that's one of the things about it is, and I try and tell them, I'm like, you just got to move on. And it's hard. And that's the one bad thing about guys, actually. And that's something I know that you're going to teach your boys when they grow up to be men and stuff of that nature, is that we have to accept that shit. We have to stop being mad that a woman decided to break up with us and go out with someone else.
Oh,
we
sure.
need to stop that bullshit right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey man, amen. Preach. Because you know, how many men, myself included, you know, who just stew and be mad at this woman.
Yes.
She just wants other dick. Like she can't have other dick. Yes, she can.
Yeah.
Just go.
Yes.
You know,
I mean,
get that dick.
And it takes us a while to learn some of that nature. Like I was pretty good through high school. It's just that when you got with the one that you thought was the one, you kind of forget some of that shit. And you know, I even had to be pulled back in, like, motherfucker, you know, you're not the greatest person in the world.
Hey, motherfucker, your name is not Jason Momoa.
Exactly. Even though you just saw a head walk right behind me, and you know, it looks like I'm the best. But I mean, hey, but yeah, I mean, I mean, that's the one thing that I want fathers and mentors. I mean, really, like, look, man, keep those emotions in fucking check. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
go and be sad.
Yep.
You know,
but
you don't
own you don't own that person, you know, and that person makes their own choices, you know.
You don't.
It was so funny because, you know, I was in Vegas a couple weeks ago, and I'm in fucking Vegas. You know, I'm at AWS conference. We're having fun. Hey. I'm spending a shit ton of money on a lot of fancy meals, and you know, I'm texting back and forth with my wife, and she's like, text me something that I was like, oh no, like, you know, like, and then I was like, okay, well, I could have a lot of anxiety about this. I could feel bad about this, or I just want her to be happy. And then it turns out that she was talking about Ted Lasso, not about our relationship. You know what I mean? Like, like that saved me so much anxiety and stress and all that. You know, just like at the end of the day, if you do care about that person, you know.
It is, as we keep saying over and over, it is about caring. It is about, because I do see a lot of shit up, and don't get me wrong, all that cheating shit and all that was happening back in the 50s, the 40s, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It just seems like nowadays,
that's not cool. That's not cool either, you know.
No, I'm just saying nowadays it looks like it's, I don't want to say accepted, but, or more tolerated, because it seems like, and from both sides. Like, I don't find I find myself more and more like going, hey, young buck, man, your ass is out there fucking skipping around.
Yeah.
Why can't she dip and daddle?
My God. So I live in the hood. Don't know if you know, but I do. I live on the south side of Youngstown. And so these motherfuckers over here, you know, Kelly Pavlik, the middleweight boxing champion.
Yes.
Who Bernard Hopkins beat the fucking shit out of. He trained just around the corner. There's a boxing gym there. Anyway, so a couple weeks ago, you know, I'm coming home from jiu-jitsu, and there's like a bunch of cars like right in the middle of the road. Like I have to go around them and all that. And then there's a woman. She's out there like just bitching. She broke every window in this other woman's car.
Yeah.
There's like kids' car seats. I don't know if there was a kid in there. You know, but all this. You know, you slept with my man, and you know, and there's just like activity. You know, like someone's going to get shot at some point. Yeah. And so, you know, I'm like, hey, you're bringing smoke to my house. I don't like that. Fuck. You know, like, she did you a favor. She did you a favor, you know.
To find out, yes.
Like, yeah, you know, when that woman, that man, that, you know, that other person, they do something like that. That's a favor to you, you know. Like, always find opportunity in those low moments, in the rejections, in the no's, you know. Like, find opportunity in that, and you know. Instead of like
another way that they think somebody got over on me. See, that's a whole nother way that people feel you got over.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you kind of throw it up. Well, at least you found out today and not yesterday. And you know, and I started to look at it because even to that woman, she was seeing her boss's nephew. And so shit was like that was going on behind my back. But when I found, oh God, that even, I literally dropped her off at her school, for her night class. And it was all back, down on San Francisco State. Yep. So it's all, it was all kind of backed up. So I was like, I flipped the bitch and I was driving up. And I guess it seemed like, I know it wasn't long enough for me to get away. So that's another reason I knew that it was over, because it was just so fucking like basically didn't give a fuck if I found out. And I remember like doing that, and it was just like driving back to the place that we shared. I was like, this is just, like, she doesn't want, like, it was. And then my stupid ass thought, hey, maybe when she comes home tonight, I'll just give her one last fuck and then leave her. Like some crazy shit like that. And it's just like,
man, what?
Yeah. Like, I mean, she left for him. I need to be the, and leave. Yeah. And which it did work out that way, but then you can even be the martyr or whatever. But just getting up and leaving and not trying to win someone back, or how dare you? It's just oh God, and then, as we said, trying to learn to trust again and not hold on to it for 40 fucking years.
That's and not punish your spouse for this basketball cheerleader.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, things of that nature. And like I said, it just goes back to, us and being mentors and just being able to say, hey, motherfuckers, you're not God's gift. The only thing God's gift is life. That's it.
It's true.
You ain't God's gift of shit. I mean,
it's true.
If your dick ain't 8 pounds, 3 ounces, you ain't doing no goddamn damage. I mean,
it's true.
I mean,
I mean, it could just be the way that you smell. Like it just could be as simple as that.
And the way you smell, yes. Because we talk about pheromones. I mean, and the thing that we don't have now because we're older now, and that's some of the things that we look upon back at being older, is that crush sensation, that the first time I see you and it's fucking magical, and this, because we don't even have it even in our 30s. If we did, our partners, like, it's not that, because that's the part that we're talking about, that we look even at your son, that part of it, that's the part that we long for, and we're kind of upset that we gave that up to them, because remember what that was like when you see your crush and you're like, oh shit, girl, and she likes you.
Yep.
That's the part.
I mean, we're listening to, like, I have a Beastie Boys song in my head, and I'm walking over towards you.
There you go.
And I'm like, hey, what's up? Nothing. Oh, okay. What's up with you?
Girl.
Nothing.
Yeah. Yep. I got my boat shoes on, my black 501s. I got my eyesight on and shit. I'm walking over. Hell yeah. I got my little collar and shit. Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that, like, it's fun to see. It's fun to see. It's like, that's what you kind of want to remember. That's the kind of shit where you're like, that's why I started liking people. And then, because you don't want to jump to that heartache quick, but you but you did have to bring it up, because there's, hey, Dad, you're this. And you're like, oh, man, I can't let you think that I'm the wholesome guy. And, I've had to tell my daughters, like, what? Oh, hell no, motherfucker. I wasn't like the great. I mean, don't get me. I said, your mother and me. I love the shit out of her. There ain't nobody. I don't give a flying fuck who you are. And we tell the story of even I was dating somebody and she was dating. I was trying to get with her even then, and she was, So I mean, I was just trying to tell them. I'm like, look, you have to learn. You had to learn, and I learned. And when I learned it, I was like, oh shit, I don't want to be hurt like that again.
Yep.
And that's when I messed around with that first woman, May She Rot in Hell, and who hurt my feelings. And then I also learned it from when.
Let her have a good life.
Yeah. I shouldn't be like that. You mean bastard? You're talking about unity, you asshole. and I tell the girls, I said I learned it too from when we were in the court, and you're sitting there and you're breaking up a domestic altercation, and the woman comes out, like I always tell people, with an urn, not iron, but an urn, and that was just a handle, a cord, and a square piece of fucking iron that heated up, and it was heavy. And I remember watching her, and she swung that and came down on the side of his face and moved his nose, and everything was just busted up. And I was like, oh God, I don't want this to ever happen to me. And what did he do? Oh, you were cheating, and you had 3 mistresses and a baby on the way. Yeah, that's when I started to really realize that you can hurt somebody just, what you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like I started to realize, like, this, you get older, this shit does not play right. This is not the if you're with someone, you got to be with someone. And and it just takes, some of us can't do that, and that's okay.
It is.
Don't date them.
Yeah. Stay the fuck away from that motherfucker.
Exactly. And it's just like, and you want, and it's good that you're able to reflect and tell your boys that, because when they get their heart broken, you could be right there, and at least be right there quick enough to say, hey, you got this. Come on, let's go have some milk or whatever.
Milk.
And milk something, I mean, and it's not there's so many fish in the sea and this and that. No, it's like, that shit hurts, motherfucker.
Yeah, it hurts.
And she's gonna be holding somebody's hand. That's gonna hurt even more.
I mean, that was a very like Zen thing. Like, there's no fish in the sea. It hurts. Sit with that fucking hurt, motherfucker. Sit with that motherfucking hurt. Feel that fucking pain. Feel
Let
it.
it dig into your heart like a salt rock.
Yeah.
Just feel it. Feel it and know
it's like a porcupine quill. Get that shit. That shit's digging into you. You can't pull it out. Remember that? Like, you can't. It's impossible to pull a porcupine quill out. It's actually not. You just grab a pair of pliers and you just yank it out.
And
but
pull it out. That's how it ain't gotta come out. It doesn't come out like a fucking sliver. You got to pull that motherfucker. And that's the thing, is once they learn that, and you try to get them through that, and then you're just like, now you're gonna see how much fun it can be now.
I mean, I think that once you're over that thing, like, oh, but I am this. I'm this to this person. Or once you're over that, life gets so much easier.
Oh, it does. It does. It opens it up.
Okay, whether that's breakups or whether that's engaging in relationships, is that it's so much easier. Is that, what, I'm not making assumptions here, and I'm showing up the best that I can for you, and take it or leave it. Like, if I'm doing the work, then I'm here. And if you don't want that, suck a dick and kiss an ass. I got you. Yeah,
exactly. Fine. And I tell people too that you both will change. If you do not, then that means I don't think the relationship is going to be right for you. I said, because I'm not the same person that I was when I first met my wife, and my wife isn't the same person that I met when we first got together. And that's another secret about marriage.
Fucking bitch. Are you still there, Sam? Are you still hanging out?
Oh, I got the earbuds. She was like, yeah. But I mean, that's another little small secret that we all don't even try to share, because we all want to still claim we can dig our own holes and we're this and we're that. No, I've changed completely. She's changed completely, but that was because we both grew together, with our marriage. Those are the small things that it's hard to even try to even get across to people, because again, as we're saying, even nowadays, nobody wants to compromise.
Well, I mean, you've got to compromise with your partner. Like you got to show up for your king or your queen or whatever.
Yes, yes.
You
you got to show
have to
up.
do that.
Yep, you got to show up. You can't count diapers. You can't,
It's true. It's true. That is true.
I mean, that's the easiest way I can try and tell people is like you can't count diapers. You got to let I mean, of course I'm not saying if somebody's walking all over you don't say it, blah blah blah, but there are days that something's going to do this and there's something's going to do, like even now sometimes we can even bark at each other, but 2 seconds later it's like, hey, like it didn't even because we got to get past it. That hurt my feelings.
Yep. I mean, I think that's really important. It's like, I'm not going to take it personally, because everybody snaps, like you're trying to get the kids ready. You're trying to get out the fucking door to go to wherever the fuck place. And you're like, get the budget, fuck. And then, wifey could be like, oh, well, fuck you. Now I feel bad because I should have done that. I know that I shouldn't have, but I thought we were all going, and then it's just a spiral, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or it's just like, hey, I appreciate that you want to go and you want to be on time, and we're not ready yet. But guess what? We're not ready. So just give me a minute. We'll be ready. It's just so much easier to live. You know what I mean? It's so much easier if you just, I mean, the number one thing for people to be successful in life is to have a partner that's a G. You know what I mean? To have a G as their partner. That's the number one thing. We've been talking about like wealth as far as like, having a house, having investments, all that. The number one thing is, do you have a G? And if you do, life is so easy.
And I'm not talking about that, like, like they'll say, like, that's my ride or die. I'm like, look at this. I'm gonna tell you right now, she's making sure that none of us fucking die.
She's gonna get dropped off at the bus stop.
Yeah, exactly. Like my wife would be like, wait, where the fuck we got to ride to that you gotta die, motherfucker? Like that's like. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and like I said in the beginning when we were talking about this, like that's one of the best things is, when I was like, hey. I can't buy you a house right away, and then she was like, "What, motherfucker? I can't buy you a house." Like, and that's when that's where it actually works out because someone's not looking at you as you're the man and you got to provide for everything. And I'm not looking at her like I have, or she, it's just like that's how it works. It's like, if I can't do it for you, why are you apologizing?
Yeah, and that's a hard thing for a man. Because the instinct is to, it's something that I'm going through right now, is that my whole thing forever since, me and my wife have been together before kids, like I'm providing, I'm bringing money in, I'm doing whatever the fuck I have to do to make your life better. And you know what? It's like, I need to give her opportunity to do that as well. Like don't step over her because I do. I got this. Get the fuck out of the way. I got this. And that's something that I'm finding right now. Where I'm. Where I'm like, man, I'm really struggling with that right now. Like no. I do that thing. I bring that money in. I do that up,
Yeah, and it's interesting because I mean I know we both kind of grew up in like the similar background is parents weren't together. It was either at one house or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And and for me, I always keep going back to even growing up with my mom. I was just like, first of all, my mom would be like, how the fuck do you think that you're gonna find a woman that's gonna cook and clean for you? You know, like she was like, you know, I'd be damned if you ain't gonna be able to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more to it than just wiping your ass, you know. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
on that aspect, and that's where I started getting that ground, like where you like, yeah, you're fucking right, you know. I mean, I don't do it that often, or hardly ever, because I don't have to. I can fucking sew. I mean, I can do shit like, you know, I mean, like where I can take care of myself, you know, and that's one of the things. But I can also understand watching and knowing that I don't have to do everything, you know, like I'm not the one that always has to take the trash out. Fuck the dumb shit, you know, you could take the trash. Or even when we were younger, like, of course she was working. So I'd be doing the laundry, right?
Yep.
I'd do, you know, fold everything, boom, boom, but then I'd stop right there and be like, okay, you can put them away. You know, people would be like, well, you know, that's kind of fun. I'm like, well, yeah, but there's certain things sometimes like, hey, you can do, you know, just here's a little bit, just a little something. So, and that was for me to also think like, well, then I'm not feeling like I'm doing everything, which God forbid, you know, don't get up and do something with my ignorant ass. But you know, I mean, there's just like certain things where you have to start to understand, like you're having a trouble with, you know. I mean, if she's got that part, she's got it. I mean, that should make you go,
for sure.
That's something I ain't got to fucking deal with. And you see me put my hands in the back of my head, and you're like, I ain't got to deal with that part. I got other shit I got to deal with, but you know, gone should be the days that there is men's work and women's work. And I always say that the only thing I know that's women's work so far, we haven't done, you know, but could change in the future so far, is birthing babies and breastfeeding. That's about it.
Amen.
I mean, that's as close to it. I mean, plus we ain't fucking seahorses, so we're so. But you see what I'm saying? That's when I tell people, I'm like, look, that's as far as I can tell, because I gotta cook if she's not around. I gotta cook. That's not women's work. I gotta cook to eat in my belly. When she was away and I had my kids, how were they gonna fucking eat?
Yeah. Yep.
My mother lived regardless. You know, you got to, there's no such thing. And you got to be able to, and like I said, you got to be able to put your feet up. Fuck it. I ain't got to deal with that. If she's doing it, yay, thank you, yay.
Hey, amen, Lou. Hey, this has been a great episode. I'm really, really thankful for you. I'm thankful that you're feeling better, that we can do this. Any last thoughts on the episode?
I think it's great and it's fun. No, I'm enjoying myself. Yeah, I was glad I was able to sit down and do it. You know,
me too.
Like I said, yeah.
I'm very thankful for you.
I'm gonna probably later, you know,
Yep.
I've been standing and doing my thing.
Yeah. You know that I love you. I'm very thankful for you in my life. All right.
No, we're thankful for you.
You know what they say, right?
Hey, they say suck a dick, kiss an ass, and look for the mail.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen it. I've got like 13 plants right now.
No, it won't be there until after like the day after Christmas.
Oh, you fucking son of a bitch.
Well, you know, hey, I knew when I was mailing them, it wasn't going